After the Bastrop County fires, the state started planning for the future. What went wrong, and how can we prevent it from happening again?
The result, the Wildfire Prevention Task Force, more than 30 different agencies and groups putting their heads together and resources.
As the drought continues and wildfire season sparks back up, our Josh Hinkle traveled to the scene of the third worst wildfire in Texas history, where the state's starting to get some answers.
The first fact-finding mission for the Texas Wildfire Prevention Task Force took us nearly 500 miles west.
The Fort Davis area has been one of the hardest hit areas.
The team's headed up by Ag Commissioner Todd Staples.
Look at the damage that they had last year.
From the air, you could see terrain struggling to recover after nearly 315,000 acres burned last spring.
Well, there's no substitute for being on the ground.
Soon we were on the road.
See, the fire came right across this stretch.
Surveying where the wildfire did its worst.
Those fences look pretty new.
Yeah, they are. There wasn't a fence left between Marfa and Fort Davis.
Really? Because it did take them all out.
Yes, sir.
At our first stop, ranchers recounted their losses.
All of these electrical poles are new as far as you can see, and the fence as well, all the way to Fort Davis, both sides of the highway.
Wiley Dabbs said the ranch he managed lost 100 head of cattle.
And they cut the fence to let the cattle get on the highway. The fire jumped the highway so fast that there wasn't a whole lot they could do.
Nobody was really prepared for that kind of fire. Then once we run out of electricity, the substation burnt down, so we didn't have any water to fight fire with and whatnot.
23 homes, including one on Dabbs Ranch, destroyed. Wildlife once flourishing, now gone. Vegetation is returning slowly, but still scarce on the hilltops.
Some of the hot, intense areas, the grass and forage is just not rebuilding like it was.
Only time will tell what happens from now.
It's 21 miles from where our plane landed in Marfa to right here in Fort Davis. The Rock House fire was one of the biggest in Texas last year. It took only an hour for it to make it that far, and it burned for 30 days after.
Todd Staples, who's the commissioner of Texas Department of Agriculture.
More stories at the courthouse in Fort Davis.
By no means are we out of the danger zone.
As local leaders and more ranchers talked about their own firefighting efforts.
Continue fighting and try to save forage.
Hoping to help Staples and the state understand what happened.
By the time I got through with the fire guard,
to make sure their loss doesn't happen again.
They've got that passion to continue to carve out a life and livelihood out of the wide open spaces.
In Fort Davis, Josh Hinkle, KXAN News.
Commissioner Staples and the rest of the task force team are putting together 3 main points to prevent and fight future fires. One is a new online tool where you can check your own fire risk. We have a link at our website. 2 is recruitment and better training of prescribed burn managers, someone to burn off the brush that helps fuel the fires. And 3, within the month, they'll give communities packets for the best wildfire resources in Texas.
We have to have that